adventures.
Greetings once again, viewers. Chuke from Chuke's Outdoor Adventures. I got a fun video for you today. Rarely have I been jazzed about videos, so I'm getting back to doing things I really enjoy. Please check out my Amazon storefront. The link is in the description. That's how I'm running the channel and paying for it. But let's just jump into it. 357 SIG, and this is safe, versus 357 Magnum, and this is also safe, as you can see. But I do want to preface this with I love both rounds. I love the 357 SIG. It has its uses, and I love the 357 Magnum. I am going to pit them together with a test, but whatever the results, I'm not going to say I like one way more than the other, because I absolutely love both of them. We're going to get into it. I'm going to show you a closer look at the guns, and we're going to look at the ammo we're using, and then we're going to test it. So stay tuned. All right, this is what we're working with. So let's get a few things out of the way. I couldn't match it up perfectly, but it's pretty close. Obviously, critical defense and critical duty by Hornady are different. They're both very similar. The FTX and the Flex Lock bullets are very similar. However, critical duty is meant to penetrate a little more and then open up, as you know, law enforcement sometimes deal with barriers, so they made this to penetrate a little more. So while this is for shorter barrel guns. So very similar though, 125 grain FTX and 135 grain Flex Lock. So very similar. Now, the one thing I love about the 357 SIG is, look at that bottleneck. These things are so reliable. They just feed and feed. Because of this bottleneck design, it makes semi-autos very reliable. You can see quite a bit of size difference between the 357 Mag and the 357 SIG as far as length. So pretty interesting. Now, the guns surprisingly came out very close. This is considered a subcompact. I do have a pinky extension mag on there. This is safe, as well as this gun is safe as well. So the barrel lengths are very similar. I would say this is a 3.47 inch barrel. This is the 3-inch barrel, but then you take into account the cylinder, which Chuck always says adds a little when you're dealing with a revolver. But I've always been confused, because some people will call this model the 2.5 inch because that's also a popular one. But let's just measure them just to say we did. So this is a 3-inch barrel, and then, oh boy, you've got, so the chamber starts back here with this guy, so you definitely have more length here, but you're also going to lose a little bit where the forcing cone is, and that gap, you're going to lose some. So I would say it is similar. This would almost have a little more barrel length, I would say. Pros and cons of each. Obviously, you get more shots on target, and your capacity is a lot greater. So these carry 9 rounds, but I have found that it's almost impossible to fit the 9th round in these mags unless you really break them in. I feel like I'm gonna break it forcing it in. So with this pinky extension, I still only have 9 plus 1. That's 10 rounds of 357 SIG, which the diameter is a neck down 40. So that's pretty impressive. I also want to say I can use these 15 round mags in there. Fits right in, just sticks out. You can get the grip modification. This is impressive because it's the 686 Smith & Wesson. This is a Glock 33, and it holds 7 rounds. So for a revolver, that's really good, especially with something powerful like a 357 Magnum. This is going to be more reliable, I would say. You're not going to have the magazine and spring issues. I mean, you can have some spring issues and timing issues with this, but I have found revolvers to be more reliable when it comes to failures. And people will argue that, but personal experience, I have found these more reliable. You can also put this right up against a target and pull the trigger, where this gun you'll have some problems if the slide is pushed back a little. It's going to go out of battery. It is not going to fire. This obviously has the red dot, so I don't know. I really like shooting with red dots. They both conceal pretty good. This is a little bit bigger, and I do have extra big grips. I could get some smaller grips on this, and it actually surprisingly conceals fairly well. This does have a smaller footprint because, like I said, this is more of a subcompact and this is a compact. So let's get that out of the way. We got kind of similar barrel lengths, kind of similar ammo. Let's see what this says. At muzzle, 1,500 feet per second for the 357 mag, 125 grain. It's interesting. The whole reason they designed the 357 SIG is to kind of reproduce the ballistics of a 357 Magnum in a semi-auto platform, and they did pretty good, especially with the 125 grain bullets. But this one's a little heavier, so 135 grain bullet, and what do they have? 1,225 feet per second at muzzle. So already this is going faster because it's 10 grains lighter, so it's going to be pretty interesting. So that handicap almost evens itself out as this is made to penetrate more, but this is going faster. So let's pit these two together. We'll see who wins the test. And like I said, whoever wins, I love them both. I simply love this gun. I love this caliber. This is my main EDC. I can't say enough about 357 SIG. Just with this bottlenecked cartridge, it is so reliable. It's just screaming fast, and there's no other semi-auto in its class that is like this. I love everything about it. I'm just shocked more people are not using it. Okay, let's get to the test. Okay, let's try this again. See if I can get a reading with the light. 1341, not bad. Get this light back on here. All right, 1341. Not too shabby. And I'm an idiot. No read. And I shot my chronograph. Already shot it. So I'm an idiot. We're going to go straight to the test. Penetration test. But as you can see, it penetrated my chrono pretty good. A little closer. There we go. Ah, we captured it. All right. We did capture the bullet, so let's see what we got, shall we? Nice penetration through the pork loin, finally a good shot. Decent exit hole. Completely split the watermelon in half, did decent damage as well. 2 water jugs, and it made it into this one. It's a trick from Chuke I learned. You can actually wash off your table by going like this. No bueno. We got some separation there. I guess it's a decent mushroom. It definitely had some explosive power. Penetration was decent. Made it through ribs. And the watermelon did a bunch of damage to that, and 2 water jugs. So decent stopping penetration for human targets, I would say, but a little disappointed at the separation. Pretty devastating round out of the 357 Magnum. Let's try the 357 SIG. A little bit easier time aiming with this. Let's check the penetration with the 357 SIG Hornady ammo. Let's see if I can get it the first time. And of course, All right, the 357 SIG, similar exit hole, almost identical through the ribs. A little more explosive with the watermelon. It actually separated a little better. We've got one jug. Ooh, the penetration made it all the way to the third jug. And did it go out the bottom? I think we have a bullet here. Interesting, I did not expect that. Better penetration from the SIG versus the Magnum. Oh yeah, we got a bullet. This is how Chuck cleans off his table. Learned that from him. The guy's good for something. All right. No separation. Interesting. Not really impressed with the mushroom. Did have explosive power, and it made it all the way through one extra jug. More explosive on the watermelon, and it kept together. I'm impressed. I say the 357 SIG wins, which is not what I expected. I think the barrel might be slightly longer on that. Well, it is a longer barrel, but you've also, it's probably what it is, but it's still a pretty short barrel. Very interesting. So this test, 357 SIG wins. Didn't expect it. Let me know what you guys think.
My name is Chuke. I like to trade my guns just for fun, but now I have none. Oh, look, get shot by a bear, but I don't care. I got a 10mm. Chuke's Outdoor Adventures. Watch you all die every time.